gave the law, statutes, and commandments. We went on and did our own thing. Continue to read.
To observe, to do all his commandments.
To do what?
And to do all his commandments.
The Most High wants us to do all of his commandments. Go on.
And his statutes.
And his what?
And his statutes.
So the Most High wants you to observe and do all his commandments and all his statutes. Go ahead, keep reading.
Which I command thee this day.
See, the Most High, hold on for a second. The Most High called on Moses. Moses heard the call when he was in Egypt, living in Pharaoh's house. He heard the call of the Most High. He went and seen and did and did the things that the Most High wanted him to do, as far as bringing the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, out of the land of bondage, out of Masazarium. He wanted the children of Israel to be brought out because the Most High wanted to show his power in the earth. Keep reading.
That all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
All these curses gonna come upon thee and take thee. And this article, this letter, it says, we understand the wrong of American slavery and segregation to be a sin. Read verse 68. Maya Shalom.
Verse 68.
Uh-huh.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Uh-huh.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
Keep going.
Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies, for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
No man shall save you. No man shall redeem you, Israel. So when this oppressor, when this Edomite wrote this letter and penned this letter, you know what I'm saying, or typed out this letter on the Google contraption, and he said, we understand the wrong of American slavery and segregation to be sin, a rebellion against God's creation of human beings equally in his image. When he said that, you know, that's because he did not have an understanding of God's laws and God's promise to the children of Israel, because this Bible is only for the children of Israel. So when we look at it, you know, go to Deuteronomy 7:6, Shalom. When we look at this and it's saying American slavery and segregation to be a sin, it's not a sin, because the Most High told the children of Israel, if you don't do what I say, I'm going to make you a slave again. Just like America, they want to make America great again. The Most High said, I will make you a slave again. And he did it over and over again, because our people, us Israelites, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we choose not to do what the Most High asked of us. And it says segregation to be a sin. You got Deuteronomy 7:6, Jeremiah Shalom.
Sir. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6.
Go ahead.
For thou art an holy people.
A what people?
Thou art an holy people.
A holy people. When it say holy, holy means separate. Separate. Segregation is separatism. When you segregate yourself, when the South was segregated, when America was segregated, it was blacks on one side of the track, Caucasians on the other side of the track. That's segregation. That is what segregation is. But in this article, in this letter, the oppressor wants you to believe that segregation is wrong. Read that again, Maya Shalom, from the top. Deuteronomy 7:6.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people.
A separate people. Keep going.
Unto the Lord thy God.
You separate unto the Lord, the Most High power. The Most High say you are separate unto him, Israel. You are separate people. You're not mixed and mingled along with everybody else. You are separate to him. You're not a so-called Moabite or Ammonite. You're not an Edomite or Japhite or Hamite. You are an Israelite. Keep going.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people.
So he chose you to be a separate people and chose you to be a special people. Keep going.
Unto himself.
Unto himself, meaning the thing that the out of all the things on the earth that he created Israel for him. Israel is for him. We are his favorite thing of creation. Keep going.
Above all people.
Say what now?
Above all people.
I think my phone breaking up. Can you say that one more time?
Above all people.
The Most High said above all people. Above all people. Now when you hear this article, it say we understand the wrong of American slavery and segregation to be sin. They're saying that from a oppressor's point of view. Now remember, the oppressor said his the Bible says that the oppressor's words are smoother than butter. Keep reading the True My Shalom. Or was that the last part?
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
The Most High said you above all people on the face of the earth. So when you sitting there saying we equal to these people, we equal to that people, you basically telling the Most High what he got for you ain't good enough. You want to share what he got with you, what he has for you. You want to share it with the whole world, and that ain't what the Most High is talking about. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna read a couple of more sentences inside of this this introduction to this article, this report, but just so we can get a baseline on what they were talking about, what we were talking about last week. It says, consistent with our theology and the demands of truth, we will not attempt to rewrite the past, nor can we unwrite the past. Instead, we will write the truth as best we can know it. Let me read that again, because that right there is so crazy. It says, consistent with our theology, Salakia, consistent with our theology and the demands of the truth, we will not attempt to rewrite the past, nor can we unwrite the past. Instead, we will write the truth as best we can, as best we can know it. So what they're saying is, we don't have an idea. We're not going to sit here and totally be all the way honest with you, just reading through the line, but we're going to tell you to the best of our ability without making ourselves look too bad. And you can't help but look bad on oppressor, because you put a whole nation of people in slavery, you know what I mean? And putting a whole nation of people in slavery is what made you who you are today, which is the leading economy in the world right now. So everything, Salakia, Nupash. We got somebody at the door. Yeah, so when the Most High is saying that, you know, it's telling us one thing and the oppressor is telling us another thing, it would behoove us to listen to the Most High, because these oppressors say that they are, going to write the truth as best as we can know it. That's what they said. That's what they said. Now, go ahead.
Shalom Yahweh, Shamar Elasah, Shalom Yahweh Shah. This is Antigua checking in.
You towards Sister Antigua? Yahweh Shamar Elasah, by the other side.
I am. I'm towards.
That's good. But yeah, we just going back into that article we were talking about last week, with the theological seminary and how they contributed to slavery in America. And right now we're going to get back into it. Before I get into it, let me read Salaki, let me read something to you right quick. It says, the history of the Southern Baptist Theological Seminary is intertwined with the history of American slavery and the commitment to white supremacy which supported it. So America has always, we all know America as this white supremacist state. We all know that. But at the same token, America wants you to look at America, the citizens of America, the government of America wants you to look at America as the shining light, the shining example for the world, you know, and being that shining light, that shining example for the world, you know, it's it's kind of what they would call a hyperbole, an oxymoron, because it doesn't make sense. You're gonna be the light to the world, but you have brought so much darkness into the world. Come on forward, come on forward. You ain't gotta sit so far back. Pull your chair on forward. But yeah, Truth My Shalom. Before we get deep into it, hold on. Truth My Shalom, give me Psalm 55 and 21. Go ahead.
Yeah, about to send me out to Truth Sean checking in.
Yeah, about to send out what's going on, Truth Sean? You talk?
Yeah, I want to. Yeah, if you don't mind, Slock, if I may, I just want to kind of piggyback off what you were saying.
All right, hold on for a second. Hold on for a second. Truth My Shalom, Psalm 55 and 21. Go ahead, Truth Sean. Go ahead, Truth Sean.
Come on, it's just so heavy what you just said. It just completely show you how all the Christians are pretty much on the short bus, because everybody expects America be that, you know, that superpower, that like you say, that light of the world, when the Bible clearly says that, you know, that Israel is supposed to be that light.
Right.
So can the Christians say today that America is Israel? You know?
But see, that's the thing. Why you just said that, that's exactly what they do. Keep going. That's exactly what they do. Keep going.
Yeah, it was just, you know, when you said it just dawned on me, and it just made me think, like, you know, about how whenever that topic about that light is supposed to be shown in the Bible, that light as who are supposed to be following what light, and everybody know that it's Israel.
Right.
That we supposed to be following. That it's supposed to be the real Jews, you know. But today in America, all the Christians everybody just so hung up on America. You know, God bless America. You know, it's just crazy. A lot.
Oh yeah, what you saying is so heavy, because let me go back to it. The article just said the history of the Southern Baptist Theological Seminary is intertwined with the history of American slavery and the commitment to white supremacy which supported it. So when you look at how America was established, you know, hindsight is always what they would say 2020. So when you look at how America was established, what was America established on? How was it established? How did America's economy become so great? What was it? Somebody tell me. That's a question for anybody.
Slavery.
Oh, hold on for me. Hold on for me. You got to say, raise your hand, say Salakia, and then let me call on you. Then answer. All right. Go ahead.
Slavery.
Exactly. What you going to say, Trooper Kashan?
I was going to say rape, robbing, and murdering.
Okay, those are good answers too. But the main thing on how they got their economy started was slavery. They conquered this land through rape, rob, and murder. Yeah, they did that. But they got rich off of the backs of the Negro slave and the Gadite slave, those that got caught and became slaves. The Israelite slaves, the Reubenite slave, the Manassite slave, the Asherite slave, the Naphtalian slaves, the Levite slave, the Simeon slaves, you know, the slaves of Zabbalon. All of us were slaves in the Americas. All of us. That's how, from Peru to Alaska, that's how everybody got rich. All the oppressors got rich. They got rich through some type of slave trade, whether it was cotton, sugar cane, tobacco, out there in the rainforest getting rubber off the rubber trees. Whatever it was, slavery was the main influence of it. All right, it says slavery left its mark on the seminary just as it did upon the American nation as a whole. How do we know? Just by, and we're gonna get into the bullet points here in a second. But how do we know that slavery? How do we know that slavery left its mark on American society? How do we know that today? Anybody? That's the question. Anybody? How do we know it left a mark? Anybody? What marks of slavery do we have that's left out here that we can recognize slavery from? Go ahead. You're a young man or a trooper?
Young man.
All right. What's your name?
Laurel.
All right, young man, L'Oreal. Go ahead.
Salakia. I would say racism is a remnant of slavery.
You right. It is. Anybody else? Go ahead, Austin Fire.
When you go up here to Stone Mountain Park, inside the park, you still see the cotton fields, you still see Robert E. Lee houses and all that.
Remember, you just say they see Robert E. Lee house up there?
Yeah, you know, I think his house.
I ain't never been to Stone Mountain.
Yeah.
I ain't never
Robert
been.
Robert E. Lee drop, yeah. And you still see the slave tuts. You still see little tuts, the trees where they were home from. You still see that.
Anybody else? Anybody else? Don't be shy today. Today ain't to be shy. Today is not the day to be shy. Go ahead, that Trooper Kashon.
The Israelite rushing to the polls and stuff to vote for these heathens that put them in captivity.
Damn right. The voting booth is also because little known fact of history when it comes to the transatlantic slave trade and American slavery in the South. Some slave owners, you know what I'm saying, allowed the plantation workers, the slaves of the plantation, to actually vote who their overseer would be and vote who would be, you know, the head supervisor. You know what I'm saying? They would vote on stuff like that. Salakia, they would cast them votes out like that. So the thing now that we need to understand is that the Most High, he really don't give a damn about how America feel about its part in slavery. He don't care. He do want America to recognize their part in slavery, but Americans, you know, so-called Caucasian and Edomites, they don't want to recognize their part in slavery, because now, when you look into the school books, they say slavery was the Great Migration, the African Great Migration. Oh yeah, it's real. So you know, it is what it is. You know, so let us get into this thing a little bit, because you know, like I said last week, it's 72 pages of this. And we only got the 8 pages. We didn't even get through all 8 pages, but we're going to start with bullet point 11. Because we're going to go into these, I got to find another word other than, you know, the words I like to use. So I'm going to use Caucasian, oppressor, Edomite, oppressor. You know, oppressor Ben Lion. I'm going to use that a little bit too. But before we go any further, True Ma'ashallah, give me that Psalm 55 and 21 right quick. Because the oppressor, he can say some things that, you know, that sound real good to you, but he really ain't for you. Go ahead, True Marshall.
Khan, the book of Psalms, chapter 55 and verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
Hold on a minute. He'll do what now?
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
It say the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, smoother than that. What that butter called? Lando Lakes. Smoother than country crop. You know what I'm saying? Smoother than butter. You know when you get that butter, I like butter. You know what I'm saying? Shameless plug. Get you some butter from TLC to Zaryak and Lily Creations. You know what I'm saying? They got the world's greatest fragrances. So if you need some butter, you know what I'm saying, go holler at Count to Zaryak, get you some. You know, but back to class though, it says the words of his mouth were smoother than butter. The oppressor know how to, you know, he a pimp for real. He know how to make you, you know, he can say some stuff that sound real good to you. Keep going there, Maya Shala.
Khan. But war was in his heart.
But what was in his heart?
But war was in his heart.
Hold on for a second before you go any further. It say, let me go back to this little piece I just read. It says, slavery left its mark on the seminary just as it did upon the American nation as a whole. Slavery left its mark. So slavery is a portion of warfare. It's a type of warfare. Go ahead on, True Maya Shalom.
Khan. His words were softer than oil.
His words were softer than oil. You know, how many of y'all like fried chicken? How many of y'all like fried chicken? That oil, when you get that fresh cooking oil, if you just were to touch it, if you were to just to touch it, for those that cook, it has a soft feel to it. After it's cooked, you know what I'm saying, it's cooled down and you can touch it again, it's not as soft. It's rough because it got all the grits in it, you know what I'm saying, from the meal and the chicken itself. So it's not as soft, you know what I'm saying. Read that part again.
His words were softer than oil.
So when he talking to you, he make it sound so good and he make it feel so good. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
Yet were they drawn swords.
They draw swords on it. They did all that good talking to the Native Americans, the Gadites, brothers and sisters. They came over here. That boy named Christopher Columbus. His real name in his original tongue is Cristobal Colon. That son biscuit came over here and killed over 300 million Native Americans. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So they came out, you know what I'm saying, talking good, but they were ready to kill you. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to kill you. And that's what they've been doing. Somebody pull for me, because we got to get into it before I go any further. Somebody get me the 13th Amendment right quick. Somebody get me the 13th Amendment.
So I can out of one.
Go ahead.
I had a precept to that scripture.
Go ahead. But I still need somebody to get the 13th Amendment, though. Go ahead.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 28, verse 3. Draw me not away with the wicked, and not with the workers of iniquity, which speak peace to their neighbors, but mischief is in their heart.
Say what? But what is in their heart? Hold on. But what is in their heart?
Mischief is in their heart.
Now, what? Tell me that precept again. You said 28 and 3, right?
Come.
All right. Sister Santiva, did you just hear what he said? Sister Santiva. You still there, Sister Santiva? All right. I'm gonna give you an example of what he just said. Read it again from the top there. That's the perfect precept. But read it from the top there, Triple Deshaun.
Come. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 28, verse 3. Draw me not away with the wicked.
All right, it's gonna come a day where hold on. We gotta do a little bit of time. It say, draw me not away with the wicked. So King David saying, he's telling the Most High, look, I don't want to go out with them. How they going out? I don't want to go out with them. I ain't trying to go out like them suckers. Keep reading.
Come. And with the workers of iniquity.
The wicked on the earth is your oppressor, and he works iniquity. Keep going.
Come. Which speak peace to their neighbors.
Shoulder bone treaty. Say it again.
Which speak peace to their neighbors.
All the different treaties that America signed with the Native Americans. You know what I'm saying? Say that thing again one more time.
Come. Which speak peace to their neighbors.
The oppressor came to this country and told the Native Americans, we come in peace. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it sounded, to me, you know, I'm glad I went there, because I probably would have told the oppressor, man, you need to go home. Go back where you came from. E.T., go home. You're alien. You don't belong here. Go home. But here, this thing say, which speak peace to their neighbors. The oppressor came to this to this land, to these lands over here, what we know as North, Central, and South America, and was attempting to be peaceful by saying he's gonna, be peaceful. But we all know what happened in the end. You know what I'm saying? It was no peace. It was all warfare and murder. Keep reading.
Come. But mischief is in their heart.
Shalom. Remember now, when the so-called Caucasian came over here, the pale-faced man came over here, All they brought was what is this word is mischief. Somebody look up mischief. Google search mischief. Go on your Google contraption and let's see what mischief means. I know what it means, you know what I'm saying, but somebody out there in the world might not know what it means. And when you get it, say Salakia, and we'll go ahead and get that definition. But the Most High in this verse said, but mischief is in their hearts. When we go back to Psalm 55 and 21, hold your peace for a second. It say their words were the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. When you put these two verses together, it'll let you know off the rip that it's talking. King David is talking about your oppressor. That's why this brotherhood class is important to know about the theological seminary and their part in slavery, and how their part in slavery has, caused blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to be unconscious white supremacists. Go ahead, young man.
Salakia.
Go ahead.
Mischief. Harm or trouble caused by someone or something.
Harm or trouble caused by someone or something. Now, I might not be the smartest man in the room or the sharpest tool in the shed, but I do remember, learning growing up that, in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. I remember that. What they left out was that he killed everybody that was here. You see what I'm saying? Read that definition again.
Mischief. Harm or trouble caused by someone or something.
Christopher Columbus came over here with mischief in his heart. He came over here to harm people. You know what I'm saying? They kidnapped Native Americans and took them back to Portugal and to Spain. You know what I'm saying? And then they went into, the western portion of Africa and got Negro slaves. You know what I'm saying? They went and got the Israelites, like I was talking about last night. They went and got the Israelites, and now they're trying to figure out why they country and they continent is so poor. You sold the Hebrews. Go ahead. It kind of make me upset because I'm looking at this thing from the point of view. I used to be in the Christian church, and when I found out this article, and when I read this article, when I read this letter, and I found how deep it goes with the racism, and it goes all the way back to their school, to the school of thought that they come from, as far as seminary, man, this thing pisses me off. Go ahead, Triple Gashawn.
I wanted to give you the King James Dictionary, 1611 dictionary of the meaning of that word, mischief.
All right, we in class. Bring it out. What you got?
Harm, hurt, injury, damage, evil, whether intended or not. A new law made to remedy the mischief, as an example.
Okay.
Right.
Go ahead. I'm listening. I hear you. Go ahead.
The second one, intentionally injury.
You said intentional
damage done by design.
I thought I heard that what you said. You said intentional injury, right?
Intentional injury, harm or damage done by design.
Now, as we sit here, go ahead.
I was about to say that sounds like everything from every, pretty much battle that they had with us over here. I mean, from everything that we've been speaking of, whether it was, Tulsa, Greensboro, or, Rosewood, it just, all this stuff was done by design. Everything they do, from the women lying to starting up, stealing the land and murdering people, and, everything from destroying villages, everything they ever done. That pretty much details of who our oppressor really is. Flock it.
Oh, what you just said is heavy, because the Most High. Okay, let's do it. Let's look at it that way. Is man smarter than the Most High, or is the Most High smarter than man? Anybody? This shouldn't be hard. Is the Most High smarter than man, or is man smarter than the Most High? Go ahead, Sister Santiva.
The Most High is smarter than everybody. I mean, he even controls the devil, or Satan, as they would call it. He controls the goons that he put out to the world, even if it causes pain or harm to other people. If you're not obedient or obeying his laws and commandments, he controls everything.
Now, what you just said is pertinent to the topic that we on tonight, and I need to because I got a question for you, Sister Santiva, because you're a Gadite, right?
Out of one kind.
All right, well check this out right here. Trooper I.S.U.P.K. Nope, that wasn't Trooper. Yes, it was. Nope, that was Trooper Gashan. Trooper Gashan, read Psalm 28 and 3 again. Read that one more time, because I want to ask Sister Santiva a question. Read it when you got it.
Mm-hmm. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 28, verse 3. Draw me not away with the wicked. And with the workers of iniquity.
All right, stop right there. Sister Santiva, your ancestors on this land are the Gadites of this land. When the oppressor, Caucasian Edomite oppressor, got here to this land, were they wicked, and were they workers of iniquity when it came to your people?
They were wicked, but they act like they wasn't wicked.
Okay. Keep reading hold on for that, Sister Santiva. We're going to go on a little further in that verse, and I got one more question for you, and I'm going to let you expound on that. Read the last part of that verse there, Trooper Gashan.
Which speak peace to their neighbors. But mischief is in their heart.
So, Sister Santiva, my question to you is, did the pale-faced sport-tongued devil that Geronimo speaks of, that the Bible speaks of, did they come over here speaking peace to the neighbors who were the Native American Indians? And did they come speaking peace?
That was their technology. That's how they what's the word they use? What's the word in the Bible? It says their words were smooth as butter.
We just pulled that. That's Psalm 55 and 21. One more question. Trooper I.S.U.P.K, go back to Psalm 55 and 21. And the last question say, but mischief is in their hearts, in their minds. We know the heart to be the mind in the truth. You know what I'm saying? Your heart pump blood. But when it say your heart in the scriptures, it's talking about your brain, your thought process. So it says, but mischief is in their hearts. So Sister Santiva, what kind of mischief was applied to the Native Americans by the Edomite devils? Sister Santiva.
So like I said, technology. I always say they brought, like, my people were moonshiners, to be honest. So a lot of them used a lot of technology to trick them off their land, to trick them out of what they knew. They brought diseases, and just all type of anything that's negative or voice against the Most High. That's what they brought.
Exactly. True my I.S.U.P.K, let me get Psalm 55 and 21 one more time.
The book of Psalms, chapter 55 and verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart.
But what was in his heart?
But war was in his heart.
Trooper Gashan, give me the last part of verse 3. 28 and 3. Where it say, but mischief.
But mischief is in their heart.
Trooper my I.S.U.P.K, read that part again.
But war was in his heart.
Keep going, Trooper my I.S.U.P.K.
His words were smoother than oil.
Softer.
Softer than oil, Salaki. His words were softer than oil.
Keep going.
Yet were they drawn swords.
They pulled out the sword on our Native American brothers. That's how they got this land. They pulled a sword out on them. They gave them smallpox. You know what I'm saying? You know. Go ahead.
Who actually were peaceful, because we're very peaceful people. We're helpful people. We're very humble like people, but you know they use technology to get to trick them into doing whatever. You know what I mean? To learn their ways, to learn their movement, or whatever you would call it today.
Concept, cause what you just said, a lot of people that don't understand what you're saying because they oppressors. And when you use the word technology, I'm just gonna break it down for them. When she say technology, she just mean you are a deceiver. You are the devil that the Bible speaks of. You speak out of both sides of your damn neck. Go ahead, Triple Deshaun.
To go back to what you were saying earlier about the treaties and what Sister Santiva was saying, you know, we, after all the technology and stuff that they use, we still humble ourselves down to sign treaties to give them millions and millions of acres, and for them to still break every last treaty, which I know was over 200 and some of them.
Go ahead, say that one more time. Say that one more time, because I don't think the class basically really understood what you said about them treaties. Say that again, because me and you talk about this all the time. But say that again one more time. Say it up so everybody can hear you, because that's heavy what you just said.
Con. I mean, I was, trying to go in a little bit deeper on what Sister Santiva was saying about how humble of people that we are. You know, for them to come over here and do as much as they did, and we still humbled ourselves down to sign treaties to give them not lease the land, not sell the land, but we gave these heathens millions and millions of acres, and they still broke over 200 every treaty they ever made with us. Over 200, it was 200 plus. That was just so heavy. Block it.
Okay, go ahead, SHALAM.
To add on to Triple Deshaun's point, just gonna read something real quick. It says some 368 treaties will define the relationship between the United States and the Native Americans for centuries to come. So they broke.
Say it again. Say it again, SHALAM.
They broke 368 treaties.
Oh, look, what you just said right there. We gonna cover that in a whole nother class, cause that's gonna be the treaties that the Most High, that America has, has written out. They have basically been, what we would say, a false report. You know how you go to school and your teacher give you a progress report, and you get a progress report and it got all F's on it. It got all F's on your progress report, and then before you get to the house, you try to alter it and fix it up so your mama don't beat the brakes off of you or your dad don't beat the brakes off of you. Alter it. That's what the treaties were. The treaties were altered, you know what I'm saying, because the oppressor wanted people to do something that they did not know how to do. You know what I'm saying? The oppressor don't know how to be peaceful with you. The oppressor don't know how to do the things that needs to be done to actually build a nation. He doesn't know how to do those things. He don't know how to do those things. But what he knows how to do is keep you in bondage. That's what he knows how to do. Let's get into this article a little bit, because we got 3 subtopics to go through right quick, and I want to get them in because they're important. It talks about how we are living right now. You still a little sideways. It says this is bullet point 11. Remember last week we left off on number 10, so bullet point 11. It says in the 19th and early 20th centuries, the seminary faculty appealed to science to support their belief in white superiority. Listen, do y'all hear that? It says In the 19th and earlier 20th centuries, the seminary faculty appealed to science to support their belief in white supremacy. Anybody want to chime in on that right there before I go deep into it? Haven't we heard that before, that the oppressor thinks that the science proves that they are the superior people on the earth? Have anybody heard that before, or is it just me? I'm the only one that heard that. Y'all talk to me tonight. Y'all sleeping?
Salaki.
Go ahead. Oh, Sister
Can you
Antigua,
repeat that?
the question is, have you heard this statement before? The seminary faculty appeal to science to support their belief in white superiority, saying that science proves that they are, it's still cricket, science proves that they are superior to blacks, Hispanics, and Native American. Have y'all heard that before? Go ahead, Sister Antigua.
That's what the eugenics kind of prove. That's what they try to use in the eugenics, but yeah, I've heard it. But
Okay.
we know that's not true.
All right. Truba Gashara, did you say something?
Salaki, I had just want to hear the question again.
Okay. Anybody else? What you said is right, Sister Antigua. The eugenics movement is about the science of white supremacy. Eugenics is the science of white supremacy. Eugenics is basically telling the world that there is only one race that needs to be on the earth, and that is the Caucasian race, the Edomite race, the race of the oppressor. That's what they believe, that's what they feel. Go ahead.
I kind of heard something similar to it, like how Egyptology like really came from like, you know, that type of study really came from like the Roman Catholics, and how they tried to make Egypt, you know, that part of that area over there, you know, is like just that area, you know, white supremacy, to make the world kind of look at them as, you know, the ego image that they, you know, always have looked at themselves to be back then and to this day, you know. I mean, I kind of heard something similar to that.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, I just kind of wanted to add that.
Yeah, what you just said is right. What you said and what Sister Antigua said is so correct and so fundamentally right. When let's go back to Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler said what? Blue-eyed, blonde hair, dominant Aryan race, right? That's a form of eugenics. That's better. That's better than what it was. That's better than what it was. But yeah, it's a form of eugenics what Adolf Hitler did, and how he tried to eradicate a whole population of the earth. You know what I'm saying? A whole genre or a whole nationality of people he tried to get off the earth. You know what I'm saying? So what we got to understand is that your oppressor wants you to believe that you are inferior to him, and we're going to get into it right now. And remember now, your black pastor, your black imam, all those people that go, Salakia, all those people that go and study under different philosophy, different theologies that's not of the Most High Christ, those people that do those things, they have, only thing that they have in their mind is to what? Raise up their people into a power position. So they're going to do and say whatever it takes to make it seem as if their people are in the power position. That's why this brotherhood class is important, so that we can recognize when we see it, and when we're talking to our family members about, you know, when they say, oh, you need to come on and get out the cult and come on to church with me on Sunday morning. You can sit there and tell them like, excuse me, ma'am, sir, mother, father, excuse me, but my other one told me in class, you know, that Christianity is of the devil. You know what I'm saying? And the devil being the oppressor, because the type of Christianity that blacks follow is that they learned from their slave master, and it was passed on from slave to slave to slave to slave, down all the way down to us. You see what I'm saying? So let's get into this thing. It says the faculty believed that science had demonstrated black inferiority. They were convinced of the superiority of white civilization, and that this justified racial inequality. They did so with full confidence that their views were the conclusions of empirical observation undergirded by leading scientific authorities. So they're saying, what they're saying right here in this portion of this sub point is that the way they feel about us as a people being blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans is justified based on science. Their science says that we are inferior to them. But like I like to say, I ain't seen nobody but niggas jump out the gym. You see what I'm saying? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Look, I couldn't believe it. It was this Hispanic dude back in the day. No, he was a Native American. Back in the mid 90s, he used to play basketball. I want to say for the Dallas Mavericks or something like that. 6'9", 6'10", jump out the gym. I'm looking, I'm like, damn, this ain't no Negro. He ain't no Negro, but he was a Native American though. I didn't, at that point, me being, in the world, I didn't know Native Americans were Israelites. Hell, I didn't even know I was an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? But now that I know, and I know that Jacob, is special unto the Most High, when I see a Native American jump out the gym like a Judite, or I see an Israelite jump out the gym like a Judite, you're like, damn, I ain't seen Billy Bob Thornton, jump out the gym. I ain't see that. They got these cats coming out of Europe playing basketball now, but they've been practicing 100 years just trying to get a layup right.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because basketball is a new invention to the earth. It's a new game on the earth. So what took us a short time to master, it took them years to master it and be able to play on the level that we're on. That's with anything, not just sports, but your sciences, your arts, your entertainment, everything. If a black man or black woman, Hispanic woman, Native American man, Native American woman gets involved with it, they take it to a whole nother level. Everything. That's with everything. Let's keep going here. It says, writing in 1882, Broadus advanced this sort of thinking, concluding that supposed black moral inferiority was connected to biological inferiority. Meaning that because we don't have a moral code as Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, biologically we're inferior too. Which makes sense. Now, that I can agree with you, because if you don't have a moral code, you don't have anything. You know what I'm saying? Give the Most High in Christ a hand for Commander General Yahanna. Commander General Yahanna picked up the moral code, what we call the Bible. He picked it up and kept it, and kept the word going, kept prophesying to the wind, and that's how all us got in here. That's how the rest of the generals and the captains and the officers came into this school, because General Yahanna kept it going. Even when nobody else was there, he kept doing it. You see what I'm saying? And that's us getting that moral code and giving it back to the world. Or when I say the world, I'm talking about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. They're the only people that I care about. I don't know what y'all care about, but I just care about them. But our inferiority was based on the moral code that they thought we did not have. That's why they thought that way. Because they thought, we didn't have no moral code, which is true. Because if we had kept our moral code from the beginning, we had kept our first estate from the beginning, we would have never went in slavery. We'll still be, your rib would not have her foot on the ground. She wouldn't touch the ground. She'll have slaves picking up her chair and carrying her wherever she need to go. Or there'll be flowers or roses or some type of red carpet laid out for her so her feet don't have to touch the ground. That's how precious that the daughters of Israel are. But because we fell from that, we are, according to this oppressor, we are inferior. It says, for his part, Mullins put the matter starkly. It is immoral and wrong to demand that Negro civilization should be placed on par with white. They didn't even want you to be on the same level with them. Somebody get me Deuteronomy 7:6 again. I think that was true. Shalom. Read that one more time when you get it. It says, it is immoral and wrong to demand that Negro civilization should be placed on par with white. I agree. That part, Mr. Oppressor, Edomite, son of Idumea, I agree totally with you. We should not be on the same level. We should not be placed on the same par. I should not be, if I'm playing golf and I know the hardest part of a golf course is a par 3. If I know that, I'm not finna go out here and play par 5 golf with you. You ain't on my level. I don't want to do that. I'm gonna play what my level is. I can't play with you, Mr. Oppressor. That's what they're saying. True my Charlotte, you got that one time for me?
Salakia, sir. What book, chapter, verse was that?
Deuteronomy 7:6.
Okay.
Because the
Deuteronomy.
hold on for a second. It says the article says it is immoral and wrong to demand that the Negro civilization should be placed on par with white, meaning that we ain't on the same level. Go ahead, somebody said, Salaki.
Salaki, sir. I said, Salaki, I was saying that I was going to say that I agree because a lot of us, if you notice with a lot of Israelite women, we don't like to move our feet. We actually don't like to move our feet. I mean, I don't. I know how to go make money, but at the end of the day, if I had my choice, no, I wouldn't move. Period. So.
And that's right. That is right. We're going to pull it up in the law, but it's right for you to feel that way because you're an Israelite. That's why I joined the I.S.U.P.K, Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, because I love my people. I don't know why y'all joined. I joined because I love my people. I'm sorry. I love my people. So me loving my people, it gonna make me come in this truth, learn under the men above me, and get the knowledge from Commander General Yahanna, and get the understanding of what it is to be an Israelite. And a portion of being an Israelite is protecting your family. And this sister just said she don't even want to go out sometimes. She don't even want to move her feet, let alone let them touch the ground. That's biblical. True my Ashala, read that when you got it.
Khan, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people.
A separate people. Keep going.
Khan, unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself. Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
All right. It said it is immoral and wrong to demand that Negro civilization should be placed on par with whites. The Most High in Deuteronomy 7:6 told Moses to tell them Negroes, them Hispanic, them Native American, tell them this, Levite. Tell them this, that they are above all people. So yeah, it is wrong. It is immoral and wrong, in the early 19th and 20th century. You damn right it was wrong to tell white people they on the same level as black people. You're right. It is wrong. Because I am above you, oppressor. I'm above you. That's what the Most High said. It said this is fundamentally the issue. In his estimation, black political participation was the primary culprit in the race problem. So you being involved with politics, voting, is a problem to white society. Because you ain't a part of their society. They just tell you you ain't even on the same level as them. Why you even trying to participate? You know what I'm saying? Charles Gardner concluded that science had established the inferiority of blacks, appealing to pseudo-scientific studies that concluded that whites were products of more advanced evolutionary processes. The Negro should in some way be brought to the frank recognition of his racial inferiority. All right. If I'm so inferior, why do you have a refrigerator in your house, oppressor? Last time I checked, a black man invented that.
Right.
Why do you have an air conditioner in your house? Last time I checked, oppressor, a Negro invented that. Matter of fact, I do you one better. Oppressor, why in the hell do you put a 6-inch lift on a truck and put 32-inch mud grip tires on a Ford truck? The first vehicle was made by a man named C.M. Patterson.
Right.
So when you hear the term Ford built, that's a stolen term too. Because the term used to be Patterson built. That used to be the term. Now, oppressor, if you so superior, other than the damn gun, what have you invented or made that makes life easier on planet Earth? Anybody can answer that one. I will wait. I ain't gonna wait too long because we already know the answer is nothing. That song biscuit ain't invented nothing of work, of worthiness, of noteworthiness. Nothing. Not a thing. Sub point 12. The seminary admitted blacks to its degree programs in 1940 and integrated its classrooms in 1951. Now ain't that something? Ain't that something? Let's go back in time here. Let's go back in time. Let's go back to the very first bullet point. Now, I tell you that, but we ain't even got to go to we go to the summary of findings. In 1776, Americans declared that all men were created equal and were endowed by their creator with certain inalienable rights. Now we know in 1776 a nigga was a slave. We know that. So here in in subtopic number 12, it says, let's get back to it. It says the seminary admitted blacks to its degree program in 1940. Can somebody tell me how many years it is between 1776 and 1940? How many years is that? Because I can't count right now. On your Google machine, you got a calculator. Just type in Go ahead, you Michael.
It is exactly 164 years, sir.
So 164 years. Let me make sure I'm reading it right now. It said 164 years from 1776 to 1940. And they integrated the seminary so black Negroes can go in there, in the classroom, and learn how to be deceived. All right. How many years you said? How many?
164.
Let me write that down.
164.
Let me write that down. 164 years, because I'm going to have to come back to that number. All right, 164 years. All right. It say President John R. Sampe and the faculty were convinced that they must admit qualified applicants and began doing so in 1940. Kentucky's day law prohibited integrated education. So for 11 years, black students received instruction off campus or in professors' offices. Wow. You couldn't even go in the classroom with them. And y'all, look, that's how Sambo Coon is so much in love with the oppressor that he couldn't even go in the classroom. He had to be somewhere else outside of the classroom in the professor's office to learn about the Bible. Really? Are y'all hearing this? They couldn't even learn together. But you know, your black pastor he quick to tell you, oh, we are in a better society than we've ever been in. Last time I checked, they having Trump rallies all over the nation. Last time I checked, Trump wanted to kill everything that is not white. That's what I know. He called Hispanics rapists and murderers. He told Haitians that they live in a shithole country. You know what I'm saying? He told Native Americans and blacks, what do you have to lose by voting for me? Come on, really? I got a lot to lose, man. I got a lot to lose. I have a lot to lose for voting for you. That's why I didn't vote for you or Hillary or anybody else, because the Most High told me I got a king. Right. And my king, his name Yahanna. And Yahanna coming back to, to set this thing in order. I ain't going to say it how I want to, but he going to set it in order. We'll just say it that way. It said most of these met at Baptist Fellowship Center, in downtown Louisville. The seminary's first black graduate was Garland Afoot, who earned a theology and ministry in 1944. A master's in theology in 1944, and was subsequently admitted to the seminary's PhD program. All right, so I got a beef with this dude right here, Garland Afoot. I got a beef with him because he went to the oppressor school to learn how to be a Edomite Christian, and he's a black man. So when you went to that school to learn how to be a preacher, you're not learning how to be a preacher for your people. You're learning how to be a preacher of white supremacy. Because this school was established off of slavery. You know what I'm saying? However, under legal counsel, the seminary did not permit Ofut to participate in regular commencement exercises, but instead awarded his degree in the final chapel service of the term. Come on, man. You couldn't even walk with these bastards. I mean, you couldn't even walk with the oppressor. You had to wait until chapel service to get your diploma, your degree. Come on, man. It says President Ellis Fuller recommended and trustees enacted fully integrated programs in classrooms in 1951. In the following year, the first black students participated in regular graduation services, including B.J. Miller, Claude Taylor, and J.V. Bottoms. Oh no, this is not finna slide. Somebody type in a Google machine, J.V. Bottoms, and ask, is he related to Keisha Lance Bottoms? I got to know. I got to know because what I'm seeing, what I just read right now just let me know that the oppressor is the devil, first off. Second of all, is that he got black men, you know what I'm saying, learning under him. Third thing I understand is when the black man gets brainwashed in that doctrine, he's going to go and brainwash other, you know what I'm saying, black people in that doctrine. And what we know that to be true because you can't talk bad about the oppressor to a black Christian. You gonna get your head cut off, literally and figuratively. You know what I'm saying? Let me help y'all look that up too, because I'm interested in that myself. Because the oppressor, like I said, he is the what? The devil. Ain't no oppressor the devil? If he not the devil, who is?
So I got one.
Go ahead.
You know me, I call him that Confederate K devil all day, every day. Salakia.
I mean, look, that's what he is. He had Psalm 83. Pull Psalm 83, verse 5. Truba Gashan, since you said that, because I'm gonna have to find out about that. We're gonna get back to the article, but I'm gonna find out about J.V. Bottoms and Keisha Lance Bottoms, because they just, you know, we in the South. Kentucky ain't but like 8 hours away line to line, you know what I'm saying? From Atlanta to the line, you know, it ain't that far. Maybe not 8 hours, maybe it's 6. Oh well, it is 8 hours from Atlanta to the northern border of Kentucky. That is about 8 hours. It's 5 hours to Nashville. 4 hours. Yeah, about that. So either way, the oppressor has trained up Negroes to be what he will have them to be as mouthpieces for white supremacy in the black church. That's what he's doing. All right, so last bullet point is bullet point 13, and we're going to pull some scriptures here in a second. It says, the seminary faculty supported civil rights for blacks, but had mixed appraisals of the civil rights movement. Come on now. How you gonna be supportive of civil rights for blacks, but have mixed appraisals of the civil rights movement? That don't make sense, dude. I mean, when you look at how America operates, it's either one thing or the other. It ain't in the middle. It's either one or the other. Either you homosexual or you not in America. Either you an oppressor or you not in America. You know what I'm saying? Either you rich or you not in America. It's a matter of fact here in America. This thing right here said they confused. We support your civil right, but we ain't really with it. You know what I'm saying? We ain't really with it. So let's read a little bit to find out about these. I started to say it again. I can't say that. but I can say this. While the seminary faculty generally urged compliance with the Civil Court's 1954 Brown v. Board of Education decision, they largely supported a moderate approach to advance civil rights for blacks and were uncomfortable with Martin Luther King Jr.'s direct action tactics. Oh, Lord. They say, can we get oppressor a hand? This oppressor say they largely supported a moderate approach to advance civil rights for blacks. And they're not the only people that were uncomfortable with Martin Luther King Jr.'s direct action tactics. They were uncomfortable with Dr. King too. Just like we are in the I.S.U.P.K, we are not fond of Dr. King. We're not fond of him because he integrated everybody with the oppressor. That's not cool. You know what I'm saying? Even the seminary, like, we ain't fond of that. They really want to be, just by that statement, it sounds like they still want to be separate and unequally with slaves at their house. That's what it sounds like. Let's keep going. They say the seminary nevertheless invited King to deliver the Julius Brown. Hold on, this ain't right. This can't be right. Let me read this. Let me start over. Make sure I read this correctly, because that might be the guy's name. Okay, it is his name. All right. It says the seminary nevertheless invited Michael King to deliver the Julius Brown Gay Lecture in 1961. That's his name. That's his name. And became increasingly supportive of civil rights movement. The seminary invited other civil rights leaders to deliver endowed lectures and appointed its first black scholar to the faculty in 1986. In 1986, somebody, anybody, hold on a minute. Let me see. Let me go back in time because I got to find out when this is 1986. Keep 1986 in your mind for a second. Let me find a number. I need to find this number here. $18.59. Somebody 1986 minus $18.59 in your calculator and tell me the what's that? Go ahead, young man.
Is 127 years.
Wait a minute, that ain't right. That can't be right. 1859 to 1986? 127 years. It took 127 years from them to be founded before they let me go back to that now, because this is mind blowing. But they tell me the best education is at the Edomite school. It says the seminary invited other civil rights leaders to deliver endowed lectures. What that means is when they say endowed lectures, that means they got paid, and appointed its first black scholar to the faculty in 1986. 100 and how many years? 29?
27.
127 years after its founding now. In 1986, they put their first black scholar on the faculty. Now, if you could just, look inside my mind right now, you'll see, a cartoon of Wile E. Coyote getting the Acme dumbbell dropped on his damn head. Cause that's how I feel right now in my brain with that topic, with that last sentence. Because ain't nowhere in the world black people started their own HBCUs right after slavery and thrived. Those schools thrived from the 1800s, from the end of slavery in the 1860s all the way into the 1950s. They thrived. And here I just read, they said in 1986, these oppressors finally let their first Negro scholar be a teacher. Come on, man. Come on. Now, when we're gonna get deep into this thing today. We're gonna get deep into it. Cause remember last week I got about 2 more weeks of this slavery in the theological seminary about the black supremacists, the white supremacists in blackface. You know what I'm saying? Because black Christianity is white supremacy, no matter how you slice it. Because when I was growing up, you know what I'm saying, in my grandma's house, she had white Jesus, John L. Kennedy, and Martin Luther King in the house. That was her trinity, and a lot of grandmamas had that in their house. And if you say they didn't, you are a liar, and the truth is not in you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody grandma had a picture of white Jesus in their house. We got several boys in here? Or is he with the camp equipment still?
Yeah, still in Catholic store.
I'm gonna make me my own personal Sergio Boisier wooden board so I can throw around. Cause I need that right now. Cause that rat bastard right there destroyed a whole generation of people, and that generation destroyed another generation, and that generation destroyed another generation all the way to us. You see what I'm saying? So when we talk about these things, we got to understand that the oppressor, first off, is what? The who? Who is the oppressor? Also, the past, who is the devil? I mean, the oppressor. What is he?
The so-called Caucasian man.
But what is he though? What we call him?
The white man.
It's the what?
The white man.
It's the what though that the Bible speaks of?
The white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
The water. So we knowing that he's the devil that the Bible speaks of, we ain't got one choice but to do what the Most High said to do. Because we know the Most High is not the devil. He is the Father that gave us law, statutes, commandments. If we do what the law, statutes, commandments say do, we can put that oppressor under our feet. Now, last week we talked about 4 individuals that started, you know, the theological seminary. Go ahead, my Asha.
No, it's true with the show.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Triple Kashan. Salaki about that. I'm sorry. My fault. Go ahead.
I had a precept.
Hey, you gotta pull it. Don't just have it. Pull it. What is it?
Zechariah chapter 3, verse 18 and 19.
Hold on before you read it. Let me get that with you. You said Zechariah 3?
Hold on one second. No, it wasn't 18, 19, it was
Yeah, when we looking at these,
let me come back. I'll come back to it.
All right, now when we looking at these oppressors that started this school, we're gonna get into one of them right now. Before the night's over with, we're gonna dig into it, one of them, and then we're gonna pull some scriptures. It says, this is still that same article. It says, slavery and the founding of Southern Seminary. So this is the actual report. This is number one subheading. It says slavery and the founding of the Southern Seminary. All 4 of the men whom Southern Baptist leaders elected as the seminary's founding faculty held slaves. Let me say it again. All 4 of the men whom Southern Baptist leaders elected as the seminary's founding faculty held slaves. The slave schedule of the 1860 federal census for the Greenville district recorded that John A. Broadus held 2 slaves, William Williams held 5, Basil Manley Jr. held 7, James P. Boyce held 23. So that's 7, 14, 23, that's 37 Negroes in bondage under these oppressors, these pay-a-face oppressors. It says, when Southern Baptists established the Southern Baptist Theological Seminary in 1859, the prevailing orthodoxy of its white clergy included commitment to the legitimacy of slavery. White Baptists in the South had established the Southern Baptist Convention 14 years earlier in order to provide organized missionary agencies for the Baptists of the slave states. So this whole thing, the Southern Baptist Convention, was organized as an agency for the Baptist church in the South. It wasn't for black Baptists. It was for white Baptists in the South had established the Southern Baptist Convention in order to provide organized missionary agencies for Baptists of slave states. Meaning this organization, Pastor Black Pork Chop, Evangelist Shrimp and Crabs and Lobster, y'all abominations. The Southern Baptist Convention and its seminaries were not made for you. I just had to take a sip on that one right there. Because this is what this article just said. It ain't made for you, black man, Hispanic man, Native American man. So why are you trying to be a bishop in the Baptist church or a bishop in the Catholic church or whatever position you trying to hold in the Christian church? You know what I'm saying? You're only, you are whatever the head clansman is, the imperial wizard, you know what I'm saying, that oppressor. The equivalent would be T.D. Jakes. Because T.D. Jakes went to seminary right here in Georgia, in Atlanta. A lot of people don't know that. He went to school in Atlanta, Georgia to get his seminary training, his theological training. He went right here, right down the road. It says, let's go on in this thing. Although most white Baptists in the North did not hold that slavery was intrinsically immoral, they found slavery in practice sufficiently troubling that they countenanced the minority among them who had begun advocating abolition in the 1830s. So within that Christian concept, white Christianity, Caucasian Christianity, Edomite Christianity, they had a bucking of the system within themselves. One side did not want to continue in slavery, and the other side wanted to continue in slavery. You know what I'm saying? So it says, we're going to keep going. The abolitionist Baptists argued that they could not hold communion with slave-holding Christians. White Southern Baptists argued that they could not, in good conscience, cooperate with abolitionists who demanded their excommunication. So it was a split in the Edomite Christian sect, in their cult, so to speak. It was a split because one side wanted to keep the slaves, and one side say, if you keep the slaves, we ain't really gonna holler at you no more. We ain't dealing with you. We not dealing with you. You know what I'm saying? That's their problem. That's their problem. That they own little problem. But us as black people, we like to put our nose in other folks' business, but don't even want to take our own business. Let's go on here. We're gonna read a little bit about Basil Manley Jr. On other slaves, in addition to those in Greenville, the free schedule of the 1860 census for the Greenville district indicated that Manley's personal estate, all property other than real estate, was $43,700, and that's in 1860 now. So when you do the inflation on that, $43,000 today would be somewhere around $4 million today. It says the average value of individual slaves was about $900 in 1860. So the declared value of Manley Greenville slaves amounted to perhaps $6,300. All right, so he had $6,300 worth of slave. You know what I'm saying? And anybody that know about money in the South, you know what I'm saying? Money in the South, the currency of the South was a lot different than the currency of what the Union had. It was a lot different because they had all the finance in the South. They had free labor, basically. So let's keep going with this right here, and yeah, we can keep going with this right here. Let me see. All right, we're going to go down to subtopic 2. It says defending slavery, because I don't want to keep reading about them Peckerwood oppressors, oppressors. I don't want to keep reading about them because that's giving life to who they are, and we know that they are the oppressors that the Bible speaks of. And the only reason that we're going through this is because when you're at home and you around your family members that not in the truth, and they keep telling you about my pastor went to seminary, did that and the third. Well, you tell them that your pastor's seminary was founded on slavery. So let's go on here, right here. This says sub point 2, defending slavery. All of the seminary's founding professors supported the morality of holding slaves as property. Let's start that over again. All of the seminary's founding professors supported the morality of holding slaves as property. Can I ask a question to those that are online in the classroom? What's the problem with that? What's the problem with that? Somebody tell me, what's the problem with that statement? I'll read it to you again. All of the seminary's founding professors supported the morality of holding slaves as property. What's ironic and what's the problem with that? Anybody? Anybody can answer. Go ahead, young man in the room. Go ahead.
Because they all had slaves, so that's why they was in support of having slaves.
Okay.
All four founding fathers had slaves.
All right. That could be one portion of it. Yeah. Anybody else?
Just love you, sir.
Go ahead, True Makalot.
Is it because they refer to themselves as property?
That too. That too. That too. Anybody else before I get away?
I like it, sir.
Go ahead.
It's easy to convince them that they deserve to be in slavery. It's easy to convince them because if they're in if they're preachers and pastors or whatever they was in the monastery, it's easy to, and they own slaves, it's easy to convince them. It's almost like they can convince them that was a curse or they were supposed to be enslaved, in other words.
Okay. I'm going to break it down to you. All y'all are right. All of y'all are right. Before I say anything, all of y'all are right. The reason that statement is so profound and so wrong at the same time is because these are so-called Christian folk, right? These are Christians we talking about. And modern day Christians say that they don't believe that a man should be oppressed, correct? So if the people that founded these seminaries and the people that, put their hard-earned slaves, work, labor into building this seminary, if they were okay with slavery, why the hell would the oppressor now not be okay with slavery? That's what I was basically getting at. Because remember now, slavery got abolished, based on what they would call the Emancipation Proclamation. Go ahead.
Salakia. I believe because they just changed the name of the game pursuant to the 13th Amendment. They just changed it from slavery to voluntary servitude when they started incarcerating black people by the hundreds and thousands. So they just was able to take the slaves out of the hands of the private owner and put it in the hands of the government instead.
Okay, that makes sense what you just said. That makes you sense so much. That makes sense. Somebody give me Revelation 13 and verse 9. Revelation 13 and 9. And the reason why that little statement, that little first line in defending slavery is so important is because your oppressor right now believes that he is not going to pay for his crimes that he has committed against the Native Americans, against the Hispanics, and against the Negroes. He don't believe he's going to, I see you, he doesn't believe that he's going to pay for that. He don't believe that he's going to get a butt whipping, so to speak. Like, you got children, right? If your child do something wrong, you punish them, you chastise them, right? The oppressor feel like he's not going to get chastised. Who bullies the bully? You know what I'm saying? There's always a bully to bully the bully. And in this sense, the Most High is the bully. Go ahead and read that when you got it. Hold on there, Trooper Gasson. Go ahead, young man.
Revelations 13 and verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear.
If any man got an ear, you need to be listening to this right here. Go ahead.
Verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity.
Say, wait a minute. What did God just say?
He that leadeth into captivity.
He that leadeth into captivity. Hold your finger right there on that point. Let me go back to this article. It say, all of the seminary's founding professors supported the morality of holding slaves as property. Read that again.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Let me go back to this article. All of the seminary's founding professors supported the morality of holding slaves as property. Read that again.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
So when you defend slavery, Southern Baptist Theological Seminary, you are basically telling the Most High that you are the slave master. Read the next part of that.
He that killeth with the sword.
Stop right there. Trooper my Shalom.
Come on, sir.
What is a sword used for?
To kill somebody, sir.
To kill somebody, wage war against somebody. You right. So when you kill somebody with that weapon, when you wage war against somebody with that weapon, and that sword could be many different things. It could be a physical sword. It could be this Bible, which are words. It could be smallpox. It could be chemical warfare, biological warfare, anything that you use to kill people. Read it.
He that killeth with the sword
Must
be killed with the sword.
Must be killed with the sword. So it say, we know that slaveholders in the North and in the South both had slaves and killed slaves. We know that. So what's the last part, the very last part of it?
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
So when you patiently wait on the Most High to do what he's going to do, you will get that reward. And that reward is seeing your oppressors go into slavery. That reward is also seeing your oppressor, Shalakia, get killed by the sword. Go ahead.
Hey, Trooper, get started. I found that precept.
Go ahead.
It was Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 19 and 20.
Zephaniah 3. All right. And you say 19 and 20. Go ahead.
Okay. This is the book of Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 19. Behold, at that time I will undo all that afflicted thee, and I will save her that halteth, and gather her that was driven out, and I will give them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame.
All right, stop right there.
Verse
Stop right there. It says, behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee. So everything that the oppressor have done to the house of Israel, the Most High gonna undo it. We see that today. It called the coronavirus. You know what I'm saying? The Most High shut down the whole world so that the house of Israel, the nation of Israel, the true black, Hispanics, and Native Americans that are Israelites, they could get a rest. You know what I'm saying? They can get a reprieve from this slavery, this hellhole that we in. Then it says, I will save her that halteth. You know what I'm saying? And gather her that was driven out. We were driven out of our land. We were halted from being prosperous in our land. All that came to a stop. Then it says, I will get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. We in shame right now in America. We in a shameful condition right now in America. Go on to verse 20 there, Trooper Kashawn.
Verse 20. At that time will I bring you again, even in the time that I gather you, for I will make you a name and praise among all people of the earth, and I will turn back your captivity before your eyes, saith the Lord.
Now, what you were trying to say with this?
What I meaning as, like, you know, how we even from the beginning of the class where we were talking about, you know, who we should be following, you know, either white man or the Most High, you know, all the way to now, when, you know, we speak on, you know, our position about, like, you know, kind of like, you know, how the topic on, we trying to still trying to be equal to this, you know, to this heathen. We still trying to work with him We still putting trust in him and whatnot. But all the oppression that he done put us through, you know, if we go ahead and do what we're supposed to do about, you know, following laws, statutes, commandments, and everything, and gathering ourselves on this one body under Commander General Yahanna, that, you know, in that time, that's when all this right here is going to take place. You know what I'm saying? That's when Christ's going to come back. You know, he's going to pretty much, the prophecy what he's saying going to pretty much be fulfilled. But the Christians, they just don't see it that way. You know, they still believe in, you know, following this white man's Southern Baptist Christianity plus his, you know, all the other different chapters that he got, you know, of different religious organizations and stuff, and, you know, stand on topic about how he's splitting everything up with these different religions, and, you know, and his teaching, and so many others still following, and all of it pretty much Christianity.
Okay, I see what you're saying with that. But you know, like I always tell you, True Concern, there is always a better scripture. Go ahead, young man.
Salakia,
but hold on, before you go, and True Concern, I'm gonna give you the better scripture that you can use. Soon the young man give me his scripture. What you got?
Right. I just wanted to say, because how white people like to say that was them. You know, you prepare. He that leadeth into captivity, that wasn't them, that was just their forefathers and things. So they feel that everybody on an equal playing field now, because their forefathers was the ones who was doing the wickedness. But the Most High got something for them already, and I got this precept, Isaiah 14:21.
Oh yeah. True Concern, I hope you listening, because it's the precept that I'll finna pull for you. Go ahead.
Prepare slaughter.
Do what?
Prepare slaughter.
Say what?
Prepare slaughter.
Keep going.
For his children.
For who?
For the iniquity.
Prepare slaughter for who?
For his children.
For who?
For his children.
Why?
For the iniquity of their fathers.
Wait a minute, before we go any further. The Most High said prepare slaughter. You know what I'm saying? Get ready to kill the children for what their daddy did. What they great granddaddy did, granddaddy did, what they uncle them did. Get ready. What is slaughter? Somebody tell me what is slaughter. You keep your finger right there. You stay right there. Triple Gashawn, go in your Google contraption and look up the word slaughter. Look up the word slaughter. Because that scripture you pulled in Zephaniah, it's dead on. It's dead on. But you know me, I like to get straight to the killing. You got that definition of slaughter, Triple Gashawn?
Carnal one con.
Mm-hmm.
It simply says kill.
Say it out loud.
Kill.
It sounds like you said it in Spanish. What you just said?
Kill.
All right, so slaughter means to kill. So instead of saying prepare slaughter, say prepare killing. Go ahead.
Prepare killing for his children.
So get ready to kill them. Get ready to kill the oppressor children. For what?
For the iniquity of their fathers.
Yeah, their ancestors put you in slavery. Matter of fact, their ancestors ran you out of Israel in 70 AD, out of Jerusalem in 70 AD. His ancestors came over here to the Americas, Sister Santivra, and wiped out the Native Americans with smallpox. Keep going there, young man.
That they do not rise nor possess the land.
Hold on, that they may not rise. So the Most High said, prepare slaughter means get ready to kill the children of the fathers who did this sin against his people, so that they don't rise or do it.
Or Salakia, nor possess the land.
Nor possess the land, and it's one more part, my favorite part.
Nor fill the face of the world with cities.
Or fill the face of this world with cities. So that, just like we got Washington, D.C., this the last time you're going to see a damn Roman city, a Roman civilization. Last time. Because the Bible just said prepare slaughter. Somebody get me Isaiah chapter 54 and verse 16. Isaiah 54 and 16. Chuma Ashala, you still on the phone with me?
I'm on contact.
Let me get that 54 and 16. The book of Isaiah chapter 54 and verse 16.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 54 and verse 16.
Go ahead.
Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire.
Wait a minute, stop right there. Anybody ever seen a silversmith or a goldsmith or a ironsmith, a person that worketh with iron? Have you ever seen that? And they got this big old thing that bellows. It's a bellow and it blows air onto the fire to keep that fire hot. Anybody ever seen that?
I'm on concept.
All right, that's what he's talking about right there. The Most High said, I created that. I created that thing that make them cold get hot. I created that. I do that. Keep going.
I'm on concept. And that bringeth forth an instrument for his work.
Stop right there. Now, when we talking about these different metallurgists, these blacksmith, silversmith, goldsmith, when we talking about these people, they have with those tools that they have the tools to make instruments for work. You know, some can make a hoe. Something. I ain't talking about the $2 hoe that walk up down the street. I'm talking about the garden tool. They can make swords. They can make knives, whatever, forks, whatever. They can make those things. You know what I'm saying? That's what this scripture is saying. The Most High saying He created all that. He created the smith that makes. He created the ironsmith, the goldsmith, the blacksmith, the silversmith. He created them so they can create these instruments for His work. And go on to the last part. And I went.
Oh God! And I have created the waster to destroy.
Waster, the waster.
Waster, right, the waster.
Yeah, He created the waster to destroy. Somebody look up the word waster. Somebody look up the word waster. Because the Most High created all this stuff to destroy. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to get into that last verse 17 too, but I need somebody to get that definition of waster for me. Because in order to understand brotherhood and why we're talking about black Christianity is white supremacy, is because as a brother, talking to my family, only thing I know to do is warn you of impending doom. Christianity has doomed our people to a life of death and destruction. Anybody got my definition? Waster. Go ahead.
A wasteful person or thing.
That's it. It's a more to that, ain't it?
I just got the 1 second. Now that's a person who does little or nothing of value. A discarded piece of defective, I guess like a potter is just giving like an example there, but that's all it says. A wasteful person or thing, a person who does little or nothing of value. That's a waster.
All right, check this out right here. Waster. In the urban, Salakia, in the urban dictionary, this is going to trip you out. A person who wastes chances and time. Someone who does not give a shit. I cannot make this up. It's here. It's right here. Someone you feel like giving up on because of their behavior. They waste your time and their time. Someone who is unable to commit or focus. Some who constantly gets out of their mind on drink or drugs. Someone who does not care about anyone or anything. Someone who does not give a shit. So let's put this in the context of what we just read. It says, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. Meaning, I have created this thing that will make you give up. This tool, this instrument that I have created, this weapon of warfare that I have created, is going to make you give up. What is the weapon of warfare that the Most High created? Anybody know? Anybody know? I'll give you a hint. We in the class now. What's today's class? It's called brotherhood.
Right.
Brotherhood is the greatest weapon. All right. So let's go on in Isaiah chapter 54, and this is the last verse. We might go into one more verse. Give me Isaiah 54 and 17, please. Salakia Baba Kashaw.
Khan, the book of Isaiah, chapter 54 and verse 17. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper.
No weapon that's formed against thee shall prosper. No weapon. Slavery, not gonna prosper. Jim Crow, not gonna prosper. Homosexuality, shit's not gonna prosper. Keep going.
Okay. And every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn.
Everything that comes up against you in judgment, you should condemn it. Meaning, America is falling. Why is it falling? Because of the I.S.U.P.K. since 1969 has been prophesying to the world that we are the house of Israel, the nation of Israel, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We are the children of God. And God is coming back, sending Christ to come back to destroy this place for our sake. Keep reading.
Khan, this is the heritage of the servants of the Lord.
This is the what? Hold on, wait, that's important. That's what now?
This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord.
Of the servants. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord. So the heritage of Israel, we are God's servants, is to be protected by the Most High. Keep going. Read the last part.
God, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord.
And our righteousness is of the Most High. It is of the Most High. All right, one last set of scriptures, and we're going to get out of here. Somebody said, Salakia, go ahead.
Khan. I wanted to give a precept to that scripture right there.
Go ahead.
That we just went over.
All right, I'm listening.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 24.
Let me get that with you. 45 and 24. All right, go ahead.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 40. Salaki, hold on one second. Pull it back up. Come on. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 24. Surely shall one say, in the Lord have I righteousness and strength. That one, can we say like that's the truth, that one body which is the I.S.U.P.K under Commander General Yahanna, and then after that it says like even to him shall men come, which how we fishing, how we bringing men, we bringing warriors into this truth, and it says after that, Salakia, and all that are incensed against him shall be ashamed. Like how all these other fake Israelite groups out here that, especially ones that was in the truth and left the truth and started their own, how, they're going to be ashamed for, leaving. Because that was like an insult to what the Most High, the commandment that he put forth and gave us, getting us to form the one body, not form the one body, then split it up. Then verse 25, it says, in the Lord shall all the seed of Israel be justified and shall glory. About when we do actually come together under that one body, and in our righteousness and our strength grows even more. That's when we're gonna be justified and we're gonna have that show glory, because that would have been prophesied.
You can use that. That's a lot to try to break down to a Christian, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to give you one that's a little shorter. Go to Jeremiah 23 and 6, everybody. This is the last verse of the night. And we're going to come back to this report, because, you got to tell your people that, the seminary is there to hurt you. Jeremiah chapter 23 and verse 6. Somebody read it when you get it. Cause what you just said, Trooper Gashan, is correct. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it don't take all them words to say it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta remember, cause you used to be in the Christian church like all the rest of us. They got short attention spans. So you trying to give them a 30-minute breakdown, it ain't gonna work, cause they ain't really into it like we into it. You see what I'm saying? So you got to bust them in the crowd of head with something short, sweet, and simple. You got that for me? Jeremiah 23 and 6.
Okay.
Go ahead, Trooper Sean.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, verse 6. In his days, Judah shall be saved.
Say what? Who shall be saved? Whoa, wait. Slow down.
Judah.
In his days, what now?
Judah shall be saved.
Mm-hmm.
And Israel shall dwell safely.
All right, so the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom gonna be saved and dwell safely. Keep going.
Come. And this is his name whereby he shall be called the Lord our righteousness.
That sums up everything that you tried to say in the last verse. That one verse. Them two verses that you just read to me.
Okay.
This sums up what you just said in the one statement. Because it was what you were talking about was Christ saving, or the Most High saving the people, right? Saving the children of Israel, right?
Come.
So this,
and
hold on for a second. Hold on for a second. The scripture you pulled previous to this one that I just gave you was about saving the house of Israel. All right, but it was like two verses. This verse right here is one verse, and it say everything that you just said in them two verses. You see what I'm saying? With Christians, you got to make it short and simple, because they, like I said, their mind is not gonna be able to stay with it long enough in order to understand it. See, we have patience. We have the patience because we know that we are the saints. They don't have patience because they think they are Gentiles. You understand what I'm saying? So knowing what type of people we're dealing with, you got to deal with them in the way that they are in the world, and they are simple in the world. They are not complex as we are in the truth. They'll understand it, but they're not gonna pay you no attention with it. You understand? You see what I'm saying? But if you get them with it, if you hit them with something short and sweet, they can't deny it. But when you go 2-3 verses, they can try to refute that with this scripture and that scripture, but you can't refute that right there what we just read. You can't refute that. Anybody got any questions? Hearing no questions, we're going to turn the class over to Priest Officer of 50, the Pashkaya.
Yeah, that's an excellent class right there. Breaking down that history. Well, that we call in the hood historians. Just announce it real quick. Block it, here you go right here. Shalom, Israel. This is the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We're the I.S.U.P.K started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Room for a new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister come to the school, they are limits for 6 months. They are here to be saluted only. They are here to set themselves up the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother and sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is the commandment, the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Ma'ashra, that means 10 in the Hebrew. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the church department of teachers. Priest fund. 3 will offer for priests not mandatory. Whatever amount you like to give. The next holy convocation is the Feast of Hanukkah, means the Feast of Dedication. It's going to be a space of 8 days starting Sunday, November 28th, sundown. And you also can find it in the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 4, verse 52, verse 61. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. Oh, Slocking. Remind Akim and Akwakim to check the bulletin board in the hallway if you're in the school building sitting right over here. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boot, shirt, pad, headband, and a scarf. And also to Google address every time you are heading to the school, to get more traffic. With that, been Israel. Mighty. Okay, gonna give one curse salute to men and the teacher. Men Israel, a mighty Sabbat, a mighty Barak, Yahweh Bashir Me'ashabakathon. Well, I said to you, may the Most High, in the name of Christ, bless you. Yah Matap, me hands down. We also got a sister online. Give one curse salute to sister, men Israel, a mighty Sabbat, mighty Barak, Yahweh Shamar El-Thah Bashir Me'ashab. Well, I said to the sister online, may the Most High watch over you in the name of Christ. Yah Matap. Me hands down, class is dismissed.